Hey yo, what it do? What it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back for some more PIEA action powered by the Esports Company. And we got one more week of Rocket League action left for the regular season. Remember, the top 4 teams for each conference makes it over to playoffs, and while each conference has at least a team clinched up, every conference also has at least one spot up for grabs. But before we get to the pitch for our final week of action, let's go ahead and take a look at how our teams did last time out before the break.
More so than game number 1. Ripple managing to raffle the way against the fight in the air, but Blackout Woolsey's there to claim the response as the ball spills out. Just Reese's King with a great bump, honestly. Sets Blackout up perfectly.
And y'all already know how we get things started off, and that's with last week's Waynesburg University Esports Game of the Week, where Burrell took on United. And Burrell has been the hottest thing on the block, having to make up a few games, and we'll get to that here in just a few minutes. But they are undefeated so far on the fall, and they've only lost 2 individual games, one of which was to United, as the Bucks hand United their 3rd loss of the season. But the Bucks had a triple header last week, and they were able to walk away with a sweep over Perkiomen Valley, and they beat the Rangers from Forest Hills 3-1. Gateway and Penn Trafford squared off in a traditional conference rivalry, and while Penn Trafford might have been able to take the bell back on the football pitch this season, this is Rocket League. And Gateway, well, they were our spring champions in TEC, and they reminded Penn Trafford why that was, as they were able to dominate on the offensive side of the ball, as the Gators win 3-1, which is big because they need to finish perfect in order to make playoffs. Cannon Mac had a doubleheader last week, and they didn't lose a single game. 2 sweeps against both Bell Vernon and Mapletown, moving up to 6-1 and currently sitting in 1st in the Colonial Conference. Central Bucks East would end up picking up their first dub of the fall in an upset against Perkiomen Valley. And while there's something to be said about Central Bucks East looking to build towards the spring, Perkiomen Valley still have their eyes set on playoffs, so they'll look to regain in the final week. Greensburg Central Catholic were also in a doubleheader last week. And while they did pick up their first dub of the season in a sweep over Albert Gallatin, they also got swept by the Rangers from Forest Hills, as Greensburg moved to 1-5. And Henderson would be able to pick up their first dub in sweeping fashion against Greensburg. Mapletown would be able to hold it down against California Area, winning 3-1. A big W that keeps them very much in the hunt for a playoff spot, currently sitting in 3rd in the Colonial Conference. They aren't exactly locked for playoffs, but a lot would have to go wrong in order for them to miss out. Mars High School was able to take down Winburn in 3 straight games, and South Fayette would remain unbeaten as they swept Franklin Regional. And it was a tough day for the Panthers from Franklin Regional. They were also in another matchup, and this time it was against Bell Vernon. And Bell Vernon would be able to walk away with their first dub of the season, essentially knocking the Panthers out of playoff contention. They'd need to literally have everything fall in line in order to secure the 4 seed. Biglerville took down Pocono Mountain West, remaining undefeated for the fall, and Bishop Guilfoyle would be able to pick up a sweep over Portage Area in order to secure a spot in the Allegheny playoffs. Speaking of Portage Area, they would also be able to bounce back against Central Cambria. The 3-1 win over the Inferno would essentially keep Portage Area in the hunt for playoffs, but they do need to make sure they pick up a big dub in this coming week. Carlisle would be able to take down Lebanon High School in 3 straight games. Stroudsburg were able to do the same against Boyertown. Ephrata would be able to pick up a huge dub against Manheim Township. Unfortunate for the Blue Streaks because they've lost the last 2 games in 3 weeks where they've been ranked number 10 in PIEA. Seems like a curse to me. As far as for Ephrata, they currently hold that 4th spot in the Dutch Conference. If they win their final week, they're in. It's that simple. Penn Trafford will be able to walk away with a sweep against Winburn, and the Mighty Mikes, well, they were able to pick up a huge dub against Albert Gallatin, a series that would go back and forth for 5 games. But for Carmichael's Area, they'd come out on top in game number 5, winning the series 3-2, and locking in that number 2 spot in the Colonial Conference. And wrapping up our action for week number 7 was Homer Center and Central Cambria. And for Homer Center, they'd be able to come up big, walking away with a dub in game number 5 and moving Homer Center up to 5-2 on the fall. They're clinched for the playoffs. And last week, they were led by our Waynesburg University Esports Player of the Week, Calix Killa, 14 goals, 3 assists, 5 saves, and 29 shots. Sheesh, absolutely cooking.
Caused them to capitalize yet, but that's the kind of approach you want to see from a team fighting back, never giving the opposition a chance. And as the aggression comes back on goal from Forest Hills,
let's go ahead and take a look at our top 10 teams one more time for the regular season. And the Bucks joined the unbeatens at the top after making up a bulk of their schedule, making that race to the top that much more difficult. One more week to see if these teams can finish the regular season strong. But before we take to the pitch one more time, let's go ahead and take a look at our schedule for our final week of action. We've still got a few playoff spots on the line, so quite a few noteworthy games, but none bigger than our Waynesburg University Esports Game of the Week.
Like 3 minutes left on the clock, it kind of does become a situation where that first goal really does just completely ruin everything you could ask for in phase.
With that, it's time to take to the pitch. One final week to be able to secure your spot for the playoffs. And we got playoffs coming up across all of our titles over here at PIEA, because we do more than Rocket League over here, and we got games going on 4 days a week, not just here on Tuesdays. Stay locked in over on social medias as well as over on YouTube as we continue bringing more content than ever before heading into the playoffs. And of course, help us turn PIEA into the best classic brand in all the land. How you ask? Share the word. Tell a friend. Make sure you tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody about it. Until we do catch y'all back over here for the next one, man. Don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out.